Andy Puzder, President Trump's pick for labor secretary, has revealed he formerly employed an undocumented housekeeper, which some believe could weigh on his chances of being confirmed by the Senate. WSJ's Eric Morath has the story and joins us now from Washington. Hi, Eric. Puzder's confirmation process has been slow-moving already. Could this further complicate things?
Well, it certainly doesn't help. This gives Democrats yet another point to go after, and they've already challenged him on how he's run his business and his opposition to things like the minimum wage and Obama's overtime rules. So this is yet another challenge that he's going to face.
All right, let's go back over the issue a bit. Puzder says he employed a housekeeper for several years without being aware she was not legally permitted to work in the U.S. How did he say he then handled it when he became aware?
Well, he said this was about 5 years ago, and then he paid all the back taxes to the federal government and the state government in California. So that's basically all he said. He just issued a couple of short statements last night and has not spoken on it since.
And his plans to pursue the labor secretary post are going forward.
Yes, he says he's still all in on the labor secretary post, and he's receiving some help from his allies. Senator Lamar Alexander, influential Republican from Tennessee who oversees the committee that's considering his confirmation, said he doesn't believe this disqualifies Mr. Puzder. And already a number of business groups have said this morning that they still think he's the right choice for labor secretary.
But this news does take us back to the 1990s when President Clinton's Attorney General nominees Zoe Baird and Kimba Wood made similar admissions and saw their nominations derailed. Does it seem lawmakers considering cabinet posts then have softened their stance on this issue?
Well, that could certainly be. Another one of Mr. Trump's picks, Wilbur Ross, also disclosed that he'd previously employed a undocumented worker. A little bit different situation there, and he disclosed it sort of part of the normal course of the vetting as opposed to sort of a late-night leak of the information. But he brought it up. I do think it's different, but heck, we have a different type of president. 4 years ago, someone would have said, hey, you can't be president unless you disclose your tax returns, and President Trump has showed that's not the case.
Good point. Now, we know that Puzder's nomination has been delayed, though, several times already. The Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee said last week it wouldn't consider his nomination until he files paperwork with the Office of Government Ethics. What paperwork is this?
Well, so all cabinet nominees need to file paperwork with this office. But what's different here is the committee for Betsy DeVos, who's certainly in the news today, she had her confirmation hearing, had lawmakers ask her questions, and then filed the paperwork. So that, in a way, avoids having to be asked directly about her financial positions in a number of different companies. For Mr. Puzder, the committee said, hey, we're not going to consider him until all his paperwork is filed, and that's going to include details of his ownership of CKE Restaurants, the parent company of Carl's Jr., and any other financial holdings he has.
All right, Eric, so how much longer do you think all of this will drag out?
It's really hard to say. We're coming up on 2 months since he's been nominated. Most of the other nominees that came up in early December have filed their paperwork, have had hearings, and now we see them on the floor this week. With Mr. Puzder, who knows how long this could take until he files that paperwork. We're not going to move forward, and he might be waiting to file that until he can figure out the best way to divest himself from CKE Restaurants.
All right, Eric, I'm sure we'll be following up with you on this in the near future. Thanks for that.
Sure.